Central Hour this hour begins with anti-corruption matters. President Bola Tinubu will soon present the whistleblowing policy to the National Assembly for legislative action. This is according to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. Edun emphasized the importance of the whistleblowing policy to enhance transparency and accountability in Nigeria's public institutions. Speaking at a meeting in Abuja, Edun called on Nigerians to support the policy, which aims to protect whistleblowers who report misconduct in the public interest. He highlighted that the policy involves receiving verifiable reports, conducting thorough investigations, and enforcing compliance with the law. Edun stated that the policy empowers citizens to act as watchdogs over public finances and resources, ensuring institutions operate with integrity and remain accountable to the people. Let's now tell you that Femi Gbajabiamila, the Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu, says there is no set timeline for implementing the Steve Oronsaye Report. Speaking after a visit to the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative headquarters in Abuja, Gbajabiamila, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, refuted claims that the progress of the report had stalled. He assured that the federal government is carefully planning to ensure a smooth implementation of the policy. The Oronsaye report, submitted in 2012, was initiated by former President Goodluck Jonathan to streamline federal government parastatals, commissions, and agencies. It identified 541 entities and recommended reducing them to 161, with 38 agencies abolished and 52 merged. To discuss this, we are joined by a legal practitioner and former member NYSC National Governing Board in Abuja, Dayo Ajibola. Mr. Ajibola, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning.
Now, what are the main challenges? Of course, it's nice to have you around. What are the main challenges that have contributed to the delay in implementing the Oronsaye report since its submission in 2012?
It's actually the Oronsaye report, a very laudable report it is. It got submitted actually in 2014. The committee was set up in 2012, and they submitted their report and findings. Now, the Oronsaye report, good as it is, when it was submitted, it was a pre-election year. Remember, I said it was submitted in 2014, and the government of the day under Jonathan, led by Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, did not have the political goodwill to proceed with the report because it was on the eve of a year that we can call eve of election. And if that report had been implemented, well, though the PDP-led government of then still lost the election despite that, but maybe the results will have been too woeful, more than they had then. So that was the problem with the Goodluck Jonathan's led government. They did not have the political will to proceed with the implementation of the report. And it was just 1 year into an election year. That was the problem, basically.
Now we see that the report has actually, gone through about, let's say, 9 years now. We had the Buhari regime. We also have the Tinubu regime in place. And now this particular administration is saying that there's no set timeline for implementation. Now, how do you think that would actually affect the federal government's ability to achieve its intended reforms and cost savings?
Oh, thank you. You see, there is a saying that says, when the desirable is not available, the available becomes desirable. The desirable thing is for government to go ahead to implement the Oronsaye report. But as it stands today, in a state, in a Nigerian state, it's a place where access to an opportunity for government funds is only the sine qua non for the survival of individuals. How do you juxtapose that? How will government have that kind of courage? Do you think Tinubu government should go ahead to implement such a report now, which will lead to more than half of the civil servants being laid off? People are suffering. So the reasonable thing is for the government to wait for economy to pick up. When the economy can pick up very well, then you can implement such report. As it stands today, it is dangerous for any government in power, be it Tinubu or whoever, to go ahead to implement such, because some of these ministries and parastatals are set up by statutory laws that they have to go to certain processes before they can be merged with any ministry. So these things are tedious, and it will have serious economic and political impact on the government of the day. So if the government should go ahead to do that, it will have serious economic impact on the people of Nigeria. Hence, it is highly germane that government considers the how it's going with the effect, mitigate the effect is going to have on the people before they go ahead. So you cannot blame the government of the day for not wanting to implement it for now. It should be implemented when it is appropriately done.
I understand, Mr. Jibola, but this administration still went on to create more agencies when it came into power. Don't you think that it should have considered the economic impact of having a broader set of probably, ministries and departments looking at the economic situation of the country before it got to this point?
Well, you are right on that. Quite a good observation. But then, certain actions are highly germane towards galvanizing this economy out of the, cauldron that we have found ourselves. As it stands today, the Nigerian economy is in comatose. And any action, I know you are talking in reference to the Ministry of Agri, something relating to the livestock, what have you.
And the blue economy
this
too.
Is very expedient. Yes, this is very, very germane and expedient at this point in time. You cannot blame the government for wanting to do things as related to that, because we are in terrible problem. We cannot continue to import livestock, import food, and we keep talking about rise in dollars, whatever. And don't forget one factor: the places where we have serious agricultural activities going on is in the northern Nigeria. The northern Nigeria is currently having serious challenges vis-a-vis security, and the security is not peculiar to only Nigeria. Hence, it will be naive of any government to try to go ahead with the old order. You have to do think something out of the box towards galvanizing the economy, and that's what the government of the day have done. So we cannot, in the real sense of it, certain action we must accept for now. When the economy picks up, we can begin to now re-strategize the Nigerian state into great economic and political paths.
Finally, before I let you go, we know how stringent the recommendations are contained in the Oronsaye Report. Now, to be very realistic, whether or not the economy picks up, do you think it can be implemented without having some downsides that might still impact Nigerians and, of course, the economy, whether or not, the economy yields its curve?
You see, in reality,
yes,
as it stands today, if it is implemented, yes, it will have impact on the running cost of the Nigerian state. But then there are certain areas the government must look into. The leadership of President Bola Tinubu must look into, because governments, the National Assembly, certain wages that Nigerians are complaining should be looked into. They should look into this holistically. It's not just Oronsaye Report. That's the truth. Because as it stands today, if it's implemented truly so, the Nigerian civil service will have better performance and the Nigerian state will have value for their money. But then, when people are suffering, when people are clamoring that they could not go to work, an average civil servant cannot go to work 5 times a week. So is it that time you want to implement such a report? It is not implemented for now. You just have to let Nigeria get out of the economic situation that we have found ourselves. Then you can begin to implement. Right now, government is giving stipends to people to survive. They are paying people legitimately certain amount from government that, okay, we are giving you this for economic survival. Do you want to increase the rank? Do you want to increase the rank of people that will be looking for stipends from government? As it stands today, yes, we need to reform, we need to implement the Oronsaye Report. But we have to think in tandem with the realities of our time, that the Nigerian people are suffering, and we should not add to their suffering for now. Please, let us do the right thing. But then the law is not made, the law did not create human being. The human being created the law.
Okay.
The report was a human creation to make Nigeria go forward. We cannot say because of that we make Nigerian civil servants to suffer.
All right, well noted.
So we have to do things human face. That's my own position.
Okay, thank you very much, Daya Jibola, for sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate your contribution. You're watching News Central now, and according to reports filtering in, we understand that the NLC President, Joe Ajaero, has honored the police invitation in Abuja, and we have our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu, who has been monitoring that particular situation as it started up until this point, and he will be giving us the update. Emmanuel Bagudu, good morning to you. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we can hear you now. Can you continue? Yes, give us the updates. Let's know what's happening.
Yeah, the update now is that the organized labor are actually mobilizing to escort the NLC chairman, NLC president, to the force headquarters where he's been invited to answer some questions.
What is the details? I can see them addressing the people. Also, what is the focal point of what is being said to the members?
Hello, I can't hear you. Hello?
Okay, Emmanuel, I just want to get the details of what is being said to the members of the NLC on ground. I can see that they're being mobilized, but then what is focal in terms of the message being passed to them as of now? We seem to be having issues with audio connection with Emmanuel Bagudu, but then we'll continue to stay on that particular matter and bring you the details, even as we know that Emmanuel is covering it. Let's talk security now. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has paraded several suspects arrested for various crimes, including 94 others allegedly involved in the killing of two police officers following a clash between members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria and police operatives. The FCT Police Commissioner says that they will all be charged to court at the conclusion of investigations. Our correspondent, Edong Joseph, reports.
The parade of suspects had commenced with the parade of a seaman of the Nigerian Navy attached to a retired naval officer, suspected to be involved in the murder of one Aminu Ibrahim at the Maitama area of Abuja. The police alleged that the suspect also specialized in snatching and selling luxury vehicles.
About 2 weeks ago, Aminu Ibrahim, the son of Vice Admiral I. Ibrahim, a former chief of naval staff, was robbed and killed in Maitama.
The suspect was given an opportunity to narrate his alleged role in the crime.
He wanted to go outside and he said I should follow him for security reasons. 11:30, so when I follow him, he stops trying to check something like ATM in his car, and I come out to the other door, I shoot him.
Then followed the parade of over 90 suspects arrested at different locations around the federal capital, suspected to have been involved in the killing of two police officers during a recent clash between the Nigerian police and members of the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria. Displaying the various items recovered from the suspects, the FCT Commissioner of Police says that the weapons recovered were used in the crime.
If you check here, you can see what we recovered from them. Some of the cutlasses you see here are blood-stained, which they use in killing the policemen.
Also, a syndicate comprising two suspects alleged to be specializing in the snatching of automated teller machine cards from unsuspecting victims, was paraded.
If you see they see you that you are elderly or you are naive of the workings of the ATM, as you are about to do, one of them will tap you behind. As you turn back, the other one will collect the ATM from you and give you another ATM of the same bank.
The suspects narrate their role in the alleged crime.
Once the person slots the card, we'll ask the person to put his PIN or her PIN. When we see it on the screen, we'll cram it on our head. Then we'll press proceed. It will either show you unable to complete or transaction cancelled. We will now tell the person that the card has been swallowed. They should rush to the security.
The police says that all suspects will remain in custody, while an investigation bordering on their complicity is ongoing. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
We now go on a break, and at this time, when we return, NIN-SIM verification compliance rate hits 96% as NCC sets September 14 deadline. Many thanks for staying with us. A while ago, we gave you an update about the Nigeria Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero, who was actually honored the police invitation in Abuja after a few weeks of stalling on that particular invitation. And we also showed you a few minutes ago a footage of some members of the Labour Congress being galvanized in solidarity, standing in solidarity with the NLC president as he will be approaching the headquarters of the Nigeria Police Force in Abuja to honor the invitation and talk about the several charges that has been leveled against him. And we told you that Emmanuel Bagudu, our correspondent, has been on this particular story, and he will be giving us the details right now. Emmanuel, can you talk to us now?
Yes, thank you very much. A very good morning from the Labour House here in Abuja. Of course, just behind me, you can see organized labor from different, parastatals, galvanizing, coming together, mobilizing themselves, coming here to the Labour House so that they can be able to escort the NLC chairman, NLC president to the force headquarters where he's been invited for questioning. For now, the lawyers of the NLC, the lawyers to Ajaero, have just arrived, and no questions, no comments from Ajaero for now, because pending on what the lawyer's instructions says. For now, they have gone upstairs to talk, and then anything that was going to happen here is going to depend on what the lawyers say. So that's what everyone is waiting for. As soon as that happens, everyone here will march together with the NLC president to the force headquarters, and they hope to remain there until the session ends.
We'll try to get more details from you later on. We hope that you would give us that by the time we call upon you. Let's look at other stories now. The Nigerian Communications Commission has set September 14, 2024 as the final deadline for the linkage of the national identification numbers with subscriber identification modules. NCC spokesman Ruben Moka announced this on Wednesday, directing all mobile network operators to complete the verification and linkage of SIMs to NINs by the deadline. Moka revealed that over 153 million SIMs have already been successfully linked to their NINs, reflecting a compliance rate of 96%, a significant rise from 69.7% recorded in January 2024. Now, the Nigerian Securities and Exchange Commission has issued QuidAx, an Africa-based crypto exchange, its first provisional operating license. The development signals the beginning of formal recognition and regulatory oversight for the country's digital asset industry. According to a press release, the SEC's license permits QuidAx to operate as a registered crypto exchange in Nigeria. QuidAx said the SEC's approval is a shot of adrenaline for the Nigerian crypto community, encouraging further innovation and expansion. Now, joining me to discuss this on the news is Seun Dania, a crypto exchange operator. Mr. Dania, it's nice to have you around.
Hi, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course. So what's your view of this new dawn for digital assets in Africa's largest economy?
Oh, it's definitely a step in the right direction, which is, the positive, and it's showcasing the Nigerian government's commitment to regulating the digital assets industry. Of course, licensing and regulation brings legitimacy and the potential for greater investor confidence, which will definitely be bringing, foreign investments, even local investments, and definitely provide long-term growth for the industry. And of course, Nigeria as a country will be able to properly reap the benefits of the, monies that are made within that industry, and in turn will improve, Nigeria's economy.
Okay, so we understand that Nigeria's SEC mandates a minimum upfront capital requirement of about 500 million naira. We're talking about $556,620, and a current Fidelity insurance bond covering at least 25% of the stipulated minimum paid up capital for both digital asset exchanges and digital assets offering platforms. So I'd like you to explain this condition to our audience and what it sets to achieve.
So without a doubt, basically, I believe that the Securities and Exchange Commission is willing to understand, to know, and let people understand that if you are, basically, you need to be in business if you want to be in business. Meaning, you need to raise capital. You cannot be doing a business that has to do with people's money or funds, or people are providing a platform where people will be trading with, and you have no capital. So basically, they've set the benchmark at 500 million naira. What it means is you need to be able to provide evidence that you have either that in cash in your bank, or maybe in other forms, probably digital assets, or some other securities that will be acceptable by the SEC. This signals to them that these people are ready to do business and are willing to commit funds towards ensuring that that business succeeds, and they're not going to be trading with customers' business funds. A 25% Fidelity bond, however, is also sort of like a form of insurance that will be deposited, probably with the central bank or with the SEC, depending on how they want it to go about it. But yeah, that will serve as some kind of like deposit insurance, which will protect users, for foreseen circumstances like cyber attacks or any kind of fraud that may occur within the exchanges.
Okay, so with this gesture or move by government, do you think it is good enough to actually lure external or maybe international exchanges to come and register in Nigeria? And do you even think that will give some sort of a level playing field for Nigerian and other African-based exchanges?
So if you look at the numbers that you mentioned, I'm not sure what rate started. Of course, at the rate when they set the laws, 500 million would have been equal to $556,000 US. But right now, I don't think it is. It's probably 500 million naira will be about probably slightly over $312,000 thereabout. But for international investors, and international exchanges, that will be chicken change, right? It's very, very small money. They can easily raise that and put it in. But the SEC, in the framework, they were very, 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 very specific, meaning the promoters, the CEOs of the company, the C-suite executives of the company, whatever exchange that will be operating in Nigeria, must be residents in Nigeria. Not necessarily being Nigerian, but they must be residents in Nigeria, meaning they always have to have a local presence. So yeah, it will attract a lot of international investors because the entry level is low for everybody because it's just a general. There's no difference between international and local. But I believe that as things go on, they may modify it. How it will affect local exchanges. I think it is time if there are local exchanges that cannot come up with that capital. Of course, things are very difficult this season. There's always collaboration. It's time for people to do business the way business should be done. So people can come together, merge, form alliances, like we see in the banking sector. When a particular bank is unable to come up with capital requirements, they merge, they partner. So this is the time where, if it seems too difficult for local exchanges, we kind of like form partnerships or raise capital, in different ways possible. But yeah, it will create a level playing field. It will provide legitimacy for Nigerian exchanges. Let's not forget that cryptocurrency and digital asset exchanges, even digital asset offerings, can expand globally. And being licensed in Nigeria also allows, may permit the exchanges to operate everywhere.
All right, Seun Daniel, thank you so much for educating us this morning. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
And you too. But I'll go back to Abuja, where we understand that a meeting is ongoing between the NLC President Ajaero and the leadership of the union. Now, an address is being given to the members, and we want to take the live feeds.
We said police came here. They said they no come. We said police go to 10th floor. They said they no go. We said police know that here is Labour House. They said they no know. We said we feel you have ulterior motive against our leadership. They say not lie. Less than 7 days, what did happen? An ordinary NLC president suddenly became the one that has been funding terrorism for 7 years. Ajaero now destroyed Sudan. Ajaero destroyed Niger, destroyed Burkina Faso. Ajaero is about to destroy Nigeria. Let's do what makes sense. We want our country to work. And we have bent backwards to relate with this government. They should not treat us like imbeciles. We are not. So let it be known that we are not scared, we are not frightened. We told them that NLC president will be available today. Because in Labour, we keep going to school. The truth was that the president was writing exams. And he needed to complete exams. He finished his master's degree exam yesterday. So we thank God. President Nigerian workers. Yes! That was the plea we made. He wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He was writing exams. And those exams finished yesterday. Today he will listen to them. I went to bury my mother. You see my eyes still swollen. You see my face still swollen. I had to come from Abia, where I went to bury my mother, to come and confirm since when did we start funding terrorists. We don't do such nonsense. We are respected across the globe. We relate with the American Trade Union Federation, we relate with the German Trade Union Federation, we relate with the South African Trade Union Federation, Ghana, UK, Cuba, everybody. And they know us to be decent. We know they even carry nail cutter, talk less of a knife. So what is the problem? So comrades, we have been informed that genuinely now, police now our friend. We want police to be our friend. Because the minimum wage where we negotiate, they follow better. Yes. The minimum wage where we negotiate, they go pay them. The problem is at the very top. People feel at the very top that the best way to rule people is by iron fist. That iron fist, we will melt up because we work in steel industry. We work in cement companies where furnace, they melt iron. We have had big names that struck fear into the minds of people. Today, they are living quietly in Daura. Today, they have run away from Kaduna. Today, they have run away from River State. Today, they have run away from Enugu State. Today, they run away from Oyo State. All the people, when you call before, people go to Shiba. Are they not ordinary people now? And everything gets expiring date. So when you are in power, remember tomorrow. When you are in power, remember what? So don't let leaders never go on exile. Nobody will send us on exile. So comrades, I want to.
And that is one of the representatives of the leadership of the the Nigerian Labour Congress there, addressing the members, saying that the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, would definitely be going to the headquarters of the Nigerian Police Force in Abuja to actually honor the invitation that has been extended towards him as regards allegations leveled against him. But then he used the opportunity to let Nigerians and the members know that the NLC as a union is a reputable body that is recognized globally and as such is not and cannot be associated with any form of criminal activity. And he said that this would be an opportunity for the Nigerian the leader of the NLC to actually come out and clear his name. Now, the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, is actually being accused of conspiracy, criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. And that is what it will be going to the office, that is the headquarters of the NPF, to either debunk or give details as regards his involvement with these so-called allegations. We bring you other stories now. Recently, Nigeria's Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, revealed that over 22,700 Nigerians obtained fake certificates from unaccredited universities in Benin Republic between 2019 and 2023, while additional 1,105 Nigerians acquired similar certificates from unaccredited institutions in Togo, leading to the invalidation of these certificates. This revelation has sparked concerns within the Nigerian educational system and beyond. We bring you details in this report. It all began with the report by a Nigerian investigative journalist who exposed a network involved in the racketeering of certificates from universities in Benin Republic and Togo. The report claimed that the certificates were being used to secure employment and gain admission, raising questions about the quality and accreditation of the issuing institutions. Following a report by a fact-finding committee, the Nigerian government decided to invalidate certificates obtained between 2019 and 2023. However, in response to the claims by Nigeria's Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, the National Association of Nigerian Students in Diaspora has refuted the allegations.
Let me create and correct an impression here. The certificate that I, Adamade Peter, carries, and alongside with most of the legitimate students who are now graduates, not fake. As I speak with you, my school is accredited by the Benin Republic Ministry of Education and Scientific Research, and Nigeria government through the Ministry of Education are acutely aware of this information that I'm giving.
According to NAN's Diaspora, while there might be isolated cases of certificate racketeering, it is misleading and unfair to generalize the situation.
That is a clear case of criminality. So what we are saying is that should we use that same case to begin to champion the fallacy of generalization?
They pointed out that the Beninese Ministry of Education has expressed concern over what it described as misinformation being circulated, and that all accredited institutions in Benin are recognized and authorized to award degrees.
We interfaced with the Interministerial Committee set up to investigate certificate racketeering in Benin Republic. And they told us categorically that a brochure was given to them by the Ministry of Higher Education, Benin Republic, to ascertain private universities in Benin Republic that are accredited and are following due course. They pointed out our schools, which we confirmed individually that it is among the list of accredited universities in Benin Republic. Only to my surprise that the minister said that it's only 5 public universities that are accredited in Benin Republic.
Okay, I said before now, that's before 2017 and all the years preceding that year, certificates were co-signed by the Ministry of Education in Benin and the institution itself. Later on, the policy was adjusted that before that co-sign will happen, to sit for a national exam.
The Nigerian students in diaspora believe the Nigerian government's stance on this matter could jeopardize the careers of thousands of graduates who have studied diligently in these countries. They want the government to rescind its decision. In Lagos for News Central, I am Lekan Onabanjo. May I tell you that a UK human rights law firm has launched a legal case with more than 10,000 claimants that alleges 2 tobacco companies use indentured workers. The legal case against British American Tobacco and Imperial Tobacco seeks to hold the companies accountable for exploitative conditions on farms in Malawi that employ children as young as 3. Both companies deny the allegations and tried unsuccessfully to have the case chalked out from the rolls. Communities in Malawi say the conditions they are faced with leave them no choice but to rely on their children to work as child laborers in extremely hazardous conditions. This morning, to discuss this, we're joined by Madalitso Njolomole, Secretary General, Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, and he joins us from Lilongwe. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the news.
Thank you.
So how widespread is the child labor claim in Malawi, the activity itself, particularly in farms?
Firstly, in Malawi, a child is anybody who is below 17 years of age. And currently, we can confirm and say about 30% of Malawian children are in the child labor, mainly in tobacco, and now also in the domestic sector.
Okay, so, but then are there particular regions in Malawi where child labor is more prevalent in tobacco farming, and why is that so?
Yes, the central and the northern region, there are the many areas which we have a lot of tobacco farms, and also in the domestic sector and commercial ones, they're also where the informal sector is growing heavily. So because of these two factors, the central and the northern region, they're the ones which has a lot of child labor.
Now, we understand that communities and some families have actually talked about the conditions that has actually subjected them to have their children engage in child labor. I'd like to find out what economic story is behind this that would make families make sure or ensure that their children are used as laborers.
Yes, true. We cannot rule out about the poverty because currently about 80% of Malawians, we are living on below the poverty line. So poverty is the main driver, with over half of our population being poor and the lack of social protection to cover vulnerable families in a sustainable way. In some cases, schools are far from farms and unattractive settings. Children, they are failing to interface with their education. In that, it robs children a better future.
Okay, we just hope that justice will be served in this particular matter, most especially for these children involved in labor. Now, thank you so much for talking to us, Madalitso Njolomole. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we wrap up on the news, we quickly head back to Abuja, where we hope to get more details as regards the NLC President, Joe Ajaero, who is willing to now talk to the Niger Police Force as regards the allegations leveled against him.
Any attempt to detain Ajaero, from 12 a.m. today, we will close down the country. And take this room. So I want to welcome all of us. Thank you very much. So I want to hand over to the injection man so that we on the Greatest Nigerian workers! Greatest Nigerian workers! A people united! A people united! I want to join the voice of NIN-SIM through our association that is fully here represented now. To pay solidarity to NIN-SIM as an affiliate. We are here to express solidarity that is desirable of Nigerian workers. And we are confident that anything directed to Ajero is directed to Nigerian Labour Congress. And the question is, who are the composition of this Nigerian Labour Congress? All the affiliates make up Nigerian Congress. Nigerian Congress is not a single person. And I therefore wonder how anybody or group will pick one person to say is picking Nigeria Labour Congress president. It's picking all of us. So having said that, I want to thank you, want to welcome you to this solidarity movement that we have all gathered to ensure that we committedly present ourselves. Not again, we are presenting ourselves to be called by Nigerian police. That whatever the situation, we will decide a way forward. Like already arranged, by the time we get there, we will remain stable, listen and hear the direction of the force. It is obvious that an injury to one is an injury to all. And as a result of that, let us remain solidly together. Let us remain an indivisible entity. I see this as a distraction instead of facing the reality of minimum wage and consequential adjustment. I was expecting that by now, everybody will be receiving alert. I will be pressing the government and saying that there is hope. Well, we cannot lose hope. We have hope. But let there be no intimidation to any Nigerian labor leader that represent the workers. Because without Nigerian Labour Congress, I wonder whether anybody can speak as an individual. You speak as a worker, you speak as a Nigerian. So most importantly, Nigeria is our country. We don't have any other country. We cannot do anything to destroy Nigeria. Let us remain firm and strongly united, not only as Nigerian workers, but as members of Nigerian Labour Congress. So, in solidarity to the labor movement, I assure you that the health sector is with you. Because the pains and hardship of Nigeria is equally being experienced by Nigerian nurses and midwives. As a result of that, an average worker has no definite market or a place to buy fuel. It is the same central place. Nobody has a market where things are sold differently. Every worker is having the same pain when you look at Nigeria's socio-economic condition. Therefore, our coming here is hope that something better is coming. Because I'm sure after this outing, many good things will continue to happen. So there should be no fear, no distraction. We are expecting our salaries even before the week runs out. Thank you so much for your presence.
Let me first of all thank you for coming out to numbers to solidarize with Nigerian Labour Congress. I will only say 3 things, and I will ask the form of question. If Nigeria has been labeled a terrorist sponsor, the question is, when did Nigeria become the Congress president? Not a year ago. When did Boko Haram start in Nigeria? That's the question. Thank you, President. Number 2. When did the Rustlings in the north, the IPOBs, when did they start in Nigeria? You let me say this clearly to each and every of us. There's a proverb in my village. They said when end is caught, then the work will be useless. Yes. This is an attempt to cow Nigerian Labour Congress. You agree with me that Nigerian Labour Congress will remain the only viable opposition against this government? Yes. Let's look at the 1 year, 3 months of this government. What are they giving to us? Today, a fuel is sold for over 1,000 naira. You are right, sir. And as at now, they are paying 30,000 naira. Maybe I should tell you this. The minimum wage bill has been signed and has been passed into law. And they are still paying 30,000 naira. Who have government in this country? As of today, we were at Salary and Wages Commission. They were telling us they have not even transmitted even the bill to them for them to start working on it. But let me tell you this. They were so fast to increase the judge's salary. In fact, I was visiting to an interview today. For the first time in this of Nigeria, a president came all the way from France to come and show an acting judge that has not been confirmed by the Senate. So it simply means the Commission of Senate is just informality. And let me tell it to you, this is not a battle between Agero and the police. At all! But against NLC and don't be surprised that this government will start talking to each union to divide us. I want to say this clearly. That as we are going, I want to invite them to be civil.
And that's one of the leadership, the representatives of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Nigeria, right there in Abuja, talking to the members. And they have affirmatively said that any attempts to detain the NLC president beyond 1 p.m. today, while he speaks with the Nigeria Police Force, the union will shut down Nigeria. That's what they said. And they said that they demand that the Nigeria Police must produce the list of terrorist beaten persons or institutions linked to the NLC president and the allegations leveled against him. And they say that they are standing in solidarity with the NLC president, urging the Nigerian government instead to focus more on pressing issues as it concerns the welfareism of the workers and Nigerians. And that's all on the news. Don't forget to send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number and email that we have on the screen. And you can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. Watch us live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekan Onabanjo.